Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Gopi Jana Ballabha Hare Rama A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Samara Srila Prabhupada. Jayam Vishnuvam Savaraj Kachaya. Sto Dejata Sisima Bhakti Siddhanta Sasita Prabhupada. Go Premanand. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 So we're at the end of chapter 5. Daksha curses Narada Muni. So this is the grand finale of all the insults that Daksha is hurling at Narada Muni. Insults embedded in a misunderstanding, a misapplication of what is the ultimate goal of life. We'll chant verse 42. Yanastvam kama sandana. Yanastvam kama sandana. Sadhunam grihamedina. Sadhunam grihamedina. Kritavanasi durmarsham. Kritavanasi durmarsham. Vipriyam tava marshitam. Vipriyam tava marshitam. Yanastam karma sandana. Yanastam karma sandana. Sadhunam grihamedina. Sadhunam grihamedina. Vitavanasi durmarsham. Vitavanasi durmarsham. Vipriyam tava marshitam. Vipriyam tava marshitam. Yanastam kama sandana. Yanastam kama sandana. Sadhunam grihamedina. Sadhunam grihamedina. Kritavanasi durmarsham. Kritavanasi durmarsham. Vipriyam tava marshitam. Vipriyam tava marshitam.
Yanasvam karma sandhanam.
Yanastam karma sandhanam.
Sadhunam grihamedinam.
Sadhunam grihamedinam.
Kritvan ashidurmasham.
Kritvan ashidurmasham.
Vipriyam tava marshitam.
Vipriyam tava marshitam.
Yanastam karma sandhanam.
Yanastam karma sandhanam.
Sadhunam grihamedinam.
Sadhunam grihamedinam.
Tavanasi turmasyam.
Kritavanasi durmarsham.
Vipriyam tava marshitam.
Vipriyam tava marshitam.
Yanastam karma sandhanam.
Yanastam karma sandhanam. Sadhunam grihamedinam. Kritavanasi durmarsham. Vipriyam tava marshitam. Vaishnavis. Yanastam karma sandhanam. Sadhunam grihamedinam. Kritavanasi durmarsham. Vipriyam tava marshitam.
Yanastam karma sandhanam.
Yat, which, na, unto us. Tvam, you. Karma sandhanam, who strictly follow the fruitive ritualistic ceremonies according to Vedic injunctions. Sadhuna, who are honest, because we honestly seek elevated social standards and bodily comfort. Grihamedina, although situated with a wife and children. Kritavansi, have created. Durmarsham, unbearable. Vipriyam, wrong. Tava, your. Marshitam, forgiven. Translation. Although I live in household life with my wife and children, I honestly follow the Vedic injunctions by engaging in fruitive activities to enjoy life without sinful reactions. I have performed all kinds of yagyas, including the Deva Yagya, Rishi Yagya, Pitri Yagya, and Nri Yagya. Because these yagyas are called vratas, vows, I am known as a Griha Vrata. Unfortunately, you have given me great displeasure by misguiding my sons for no reason to the path of renunciation. This can be tolerated once. Purport. Prajapati Daksha wanted to prove that he had been most tolerant in not having said anything when Narada Muni, for no reason, induced his 10,000 innocent sons to adopt the path of renunciation. Sometimes householders are accused of being grihamedis, for grihamedis are satisfied with family life without spiritual advancement. Grihastas, however, are different, because although grihastas live in householder life with their wives and children, they are eager for spiritual advancement. Wanting to prove that he had been magnanimous to Narada Muni, Prajapati Daksha stressed that when Narada had misled his first sons, Daksha had taken no action. He had been kind and tolerant. He was aggrieved, however, because Narada Muni had misled his sons for a second time. Therefore, he wanted to prove that Narada Muni, although dressed like a sadhu, was not actually a sadhu. He himself, referring to Daksha, although a householder, was a greater sadhu than Narada Muni. Om Agana Chimanandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitanyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Radha Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So Daksha is reaffirming his own credentials. Look, I'm no slouch, I'm no slacker. I am expert in karma, materialistic activities for the sake of material prosperity and enjoyment. I do everything right in terms of karma kanda, the path of good works. Therefore he says, karma sandhanam, referring to those who strictly follow the fruit of ritualistic ceremonies according to Vedic injunctions. These are real materialists. They know how to create enjoyment in the present and the future. We already discussed how to call someone a materialist today is actually giving them undue honor, because they don't know how to enjoy now or in the future. They wreck their life now, and they wreck their life in the future. So what else does he say? Sadhunam, who are honest, because these are real materialists. They know how to create enjoyment in the present and the future. We already discussed how to call someone a materialist today is actually giving them undue honor, because they don't know how to enjoy now or in the future. They wreck their life now, and they wreck their life in the future. So what else does he say? He's referring to himself and people like him as the real sadhus. Why? We're honest. We honestly seek material prosperity and bodily comfort. So he's fortifying his own position before he hurls the curse. He's showing that I actually am the righteous person and Narada Muni is the wretch. And so he flashes, he parades what he thinks are his qualifications. I've done all kinds of yajnas, all kinds of Vedic rituals and sacrifices. And he rattles them off. Deva yajna, Rishi yajna, Pitri yajna, and Nri yajna. Deva yajna, we explain, sacrifices, ceremonies for pleasing the devatas, the demigods. Rishi yajna, sacrifices for pleasing the rishis. Pitri yajna, for pleasing your ancestors. And Nri yajna, for pleasing society in general. So he says, because these yajnas are vows, vratas, I am known as Griha Vrata. So again, bear in mind, this is no ordinary person, Daksha. And bear in mind that you're not dealing with some kind of ordinary gross materialist like you see today. It's true, he does everything karmically, perfectly. And ever he can boast, I strive for material enjoyment and prosperity without sinful reaction. Today, who cares about that? What is sin anyway? If you say something is sinful, it must be good. Even in ordinary vocabulary in English, in urban vocabulary, you twist the meanings of all words that refer to something negative to use them to refer to something good. I remember growing up in New York City, the slang was, when you wanted to refer to something that was really great, you said, "That's bad." So-and-so is bad. And what else? Wicked. I mean, it's really great. And of course, that's sinful. All kinds of words like that. This is the age of color, you know. That's sick. Which is really good. Anyway, I don't know what the latest urban slang is. So Daksha is not in that category. He knows what is good karma. Something people have no idea of today. So he's pointing out to Narada Muni, look, I turned the other cheek. I looked the other way the first time you inspired my first batch of sons on the path of renunciation. I didn't say anything. Just see how great I am. Just see how tolerant I am. But the second time, that's too much. And the Acharyas point out that Daksha is implying, look, if I want to, I could cause 4 times as much harm to you as you've done to me, if I wanted to. But just see, I'm a sadhu. I'm a vrata. So we'll go to text 43. And this is when he utters the curse. After a few more insults, he tells Narada Muni, you are a Tantu Krintana. You're a mischief monger who has mercilessly separated my sons from me. Not only that, but you are Muda. You are a fool, a rascal. You don't know how to act. So now, what's the curse? Since you don't know how to behave toward others, you may travel all over the universe, as you always do, because you're a Narada Muni, but I curse you, you'll have no residence anywhere. So in the purport, Prabhupada explains that because Prajapati Daksha was a Grihamedi, someone who is center in life is materialistic family life. Because he's a Grihamedi who wanted to remain in household life, he thought that if Narada Muni could not remain in one place, but had to travel all over the world, that would be a great punishment for him. Actually, however, such a punishment is a boon for a preacher. So then, Prabhupada speaks autobiographically. In the parampara system from Narada Muni, I have also been cursed. Although I have many centers that would be suitable places of residence, I cannot stay anywhere, for I have been cursed by the parents of my young disciples. Since the Krishna conscious movement was started, I have traveled all over the world 2 or 3 times a year. And although I am provided comfortable places to stay wherever I go, I cannot stay anywhere for more than 3 days or a week. I do not mind this curse by the parents of my disciples, but now it is necessary that I stay in one place to finish another task, this translation of Srimad Bhagavatam. If my young disciples, especially those who have taken sannyas, take charge of traveling all over the world, it may be possible for me to transfer the curse of the parents to these young preachers. Then I may sit down conveniently in one place for the work of translation. Well, factually, that never happened. Srila Prabhupada never stopped traveling all over the world, even in his last year amongst us. So, sometimes devotees ask me, will you ever settle down? So I guess I have to find persons to transfer the curse to. The curse that Srila Prabhupada transferred to his disciples, we'd like to pass it on. Sometimes devotees ask me, when is your next book coming? I say, what can I do? This traveling life is intense. So, what was Narada Muni's response? Yes, what you have said is good. I accept the curse. Narada Muni obviously could have cursed Daksha in return, but because he's tolerant and merciful, he didn't do that. No retaliation. As we go deeper into this present age of darkness, we can see more and more that retaliation is the first resort, what you turn to first. Retaliate first, ask questions, and talk about conciliation and harmony. Talk about that later. First, retaliate. You see that happening on the individual level, the societal level, and the international level. A sadhu is meant to demonstrate something else. How to be merciful, how to withstand the torments of the material world. There's the famous verse spoken by Lord Kapila Dev in the 3rd canto. Tatikshava karunika suhida sarvadehinam ajata shatrava sad chanta sadhava sadhubhushana. The symptoms of a sadhu are that he is tolerant, merciful, and friendly to all living entities. He has no enemies. He is peaceful. He abides by the scriptures, and all his characteristics are sublime. So the purport tells us, because Narada Muni is the most elevated of sadhus, devotees, to deliver Prajapati Daksha, he silently tolerated the curse. And so he's demonstrating the principle that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will teach. Trinadapi Sunichena. Be more tolerant than a tree. So we get a very nice instruction. Following the orders of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, one who preaches the glories of the Lord all over the world or all over the universe should be humbler than grass and more tolerant than a tree, because a preacher cannot live an easygoing life. Indeed, a preacher must face many impediments. Not only is he sometimes cursed, but sometimes he must also suffer personal injury. For example, when Nityananda Prabhu went to preach Krishna consciousness to the two roguish brothers, Jagai and Madai, they injured him and made his head bleed, but nevertheless, he tolerantly delivered the two rogues who became perfect Vaishnavas. This is the duty of a preacher. Lord Jesus Christ even tolerated crucifixion. Therefore, the curse against Narada was not very astonishing, and he tolerated it. So as we've been explaining, why did Narada Muni stick around and hear all this abuse? He was intent on rescuing Daksha from the grips of the illusory energy. He felt that once Daksha gets it off his chest and vents his rage, he'll calm down, especially when he sees that Narada Muni doesn't counter-curse him. He'll become repentant. Oh, I just lost the plot. I said so many things that I regret. So Narada Muni was waiting around for that, but it's not going to happen. And so finally Narada Muni leaves. So this shows you that sometimes your outreach efforts are not immediately successful. But still, following the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who said, wherever you go, whomever you meet, teach the science of Krishna. Following that order, you persevere. What do you expect from people today? They are sure they are the body and mind. They are sure there's nothing beyond the body and mind. Material happiness and prosperity is the goal of life. They think no other creatures except human beings have souls, therefore you can gobble them up. So many misunderstandings. No knowledge of what their next destination is, and don't care. I was speaking, where was this? Oh, maybe in Auckland. Many persons have the idea about what is success in life. What's the standard? The one who dies with the most toys wins. What do you think? The one who dies with the most toys wins. Certainly, if you want to try to elevate others, you have to be tolerant and merciful. And that's what Narada Muni is demonstrating. And just remember, Daksha is far beyond the level of crazy life today, but still he's a materialist in the most perfect sense. So we've concluded this chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, and now perhaps we can stop earlier than usual and ask if you have any questions about whatever.